In 1745, a book was created in the Sisters' House, and this is the title page to the book called The Rose, and it is sort of a rule book for the sisterhood. We don't know if there was a companion book for the brothers, and if there was, we don't know where it's at, if it even survives. But a lot of information about daily life comes from The Rose, including a schedule. Now, I think the way the schedule is described in The Rose is maybe the ideal, not necessarily how it was always practiced. But let me show you exactly what The Rose says. Divides the day into certain hours, starting at 5 in the morning. And at 5 in the morning, it's time to get dressed. Both men and women, the celibate community, wore these long white robes. The robes not only unified them together as a community, but separated them from the rest of the world. I'm not quite sure that the brothers who worked in the fields and the mills wore these white robes all the time, but they certainly had such a set of clothing to wear for worship services. And was it always pure white? Well, no, the Rose tells us they have a dirty kind of gray set for everyday wear, and then there's a nice clean set to wear for the worship services on Saturday. When you're getting up at between 5 and 6 and getting dressed, there's also time in that hour for private meditation. Beissel is always interested in having a chance for personal relationships with God, so he provides lots of time for private meditation. The Rose says work really begins about 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is a sister's house where the sisters lived after 1745. Prior to that, they were living in 2 other structures we've not completely identified and may not survive. The following year, after the sisters moved in, the brothers built themselves a new dormitory. This building was taken away in 1908. By that point, it had become old and kind of shaky, and they just removed that structure. But the sisters' house does survive. Inside those buildings at 6 o'clock, work is starting in the morning. For everybody, there's cooking to be done, but everybody also shares in the sewing duties, the laundry duties, and in spinning thread. Both brothers and sisters did both of these, all of these activities. They're usually associated with just the female gender in the 18th century. 9 o'clock in the morning, the schedule of the Rose says, is an hour for private meditation. It could have been a chance for you to read, a chance to go for a walk in this pleasant weather, a chance for you to work on writing. It's your opportunity to commune with God. But when that time is over, it's back to work. I chose to put in this image of the sisters' house before the restoration because I think it's always interesting to see what things look like early on before the work began. Inside the sisters' house and outside, the sisters are doing all sorts of jobs, tending the gardens, taking care of the community's cows. There were 2 or 3 cows, making baskets and candles. That sort of work was going on until noon. And at noon was another hour for private meditation. But another part of the work was writing the German Gothic style of lettering known as Fraktur.